Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session of a live counter review using technical analysis. So for today, the flow will be same as per the usual sessions. So first I'll talk about the US economic calendar to see what are some of the events that we should be looking out for this week. Then afterwards, I'll go through some of the major indices and commodities. Then afterwards, I'll go through to the different sectors like the Magnificent Seven, US banks, US semicons, as well as EVs. And last but not least, I also go through the any questions that you all have in the Q&A. So yeah, if you all have any counters that you all want me to go through, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. Yeah, but just try to restrict to three per person. So we give others a chance for their answers for their questions to be answered as well. So without further ado, I'll begin. So this week, some of the events taking place, mostly is some Fed speaks and also some economic data will be out again with the government reopening. So tonight there's this N1 Empire State Manufacturing Index 9:30 p.m. Then FOMC Williams speaking at 10. Fed Jefferson speaking 10:30 p.m. Okay, then going to tomorrow, Kashkari speaking 2 a.m. Some more Fed members speaking, Waller as well as Logan in the morning. Then there's something to look out for will be the ADP employment change. That will be at 9:15 p.m. tomorrow. So that's something about the jobs market. Okay, then afterwards, industrial production 10:15 p.m. Uh, and factory orders at 11 p.m. Going to Wednesday, there's the API crude oil stock. That's at 5:30 a.m. And afterwards, Wednesday night, there's crude inventories, 11:30 p.m. Okay, then Thursday, there's FOMC meeting minutes. That's coming out at 3 a.m. So that's Thursday morning. Then there will also be the release of the September labor market data. So the September non-farm payrolls that has been delayed due to the government shutdown will be released on this Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Okay, then coupled with the initial jobless claims coming back as well at 9:30 p.m. Uh, yeah, so that's generally for Thursday. Friday, some more Fed speaks going on. Williams speaking 8:30 p.m. Then S&P Global Manufacturing as well as Services PMI Friday 10:45 p.m. Then Michigan Inflation and Consumer Expectations. That's at 11 p.m. So in general, some of the key events to watch out for this week. Tomorrow will be tomorrow's ADP employment change numbers 9:15 p.m. Then afterwards, Thursday morning FOMC meeting minutes 3 a.m. Thursday 9:30 p.m. the non-farm payrolls. Then and Friday the S&P Manufacturing and Services PMI 10:45 p.m. So that's generally for this week in terms of economic data. So next one, I'll go through the indices and commodities. So first one, I'll talk about Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin has been rather weak recently. You can see in a chart, uh, since the breakdown of this key level over 108,000 support level, which I think it possibly is a neckline level of a head and shoulders formation over here. The weakness has brought it quite below this trend line support as well. So this trend line support I draw it using August 2024 that has connected some of the key lows level. So there's a bit of a breakdown over here. Yeah, so you can see Bitcoin is rather weak and last week, and there's also like after price rebounded off this 100K level, this horizontal support level, um it held this 180K level previous support breakdown turn to resistance and continue to form a lower low. So I think with that, we probably will continue to see some weakness continue on for Bitcoin for now. You can see in terms of the moving averages, currently below the 5-day MA, the blue line as well. And I think generally finding resistance along the 10 MA red line, doing some of the rebounds as well. So that's rather weak. But I think Bitcoin could be finding some support soon if it touches the around 88 to 93K area. So I think so because that will be around the projected target level if this head and shoulders formation. So about 108K to the peak about 126K. So that the height is about close to 17.5, 18K level. And project downwards, this brings us to about close to 91,000 level as a potential target level. Yeah, then looking back in terms of some of the earlier resistance levels this year, back in March this year, uh, the 88,000 level was a key resistance back then, where afterwards, the breakout led to a rally afterwards. So I think this will be like if it touches 88K around there, there will be a key level that will hold the price. Yeah, then another support level upwards will be around 93,000, which was this horizontal support level during a consolidation period in May this year. So I think this area 88 to 93K could see Bitcoin do a bit of find a bit of support over there. Yeah, so that's my take on it. But for short term, still rather weak. As it's still below this trendline support and some of the trending below some of the moving averages as well. And next I'll move on to the Wall Street indices. So first one is Dow Jones. So Dow Jones I think remains one of the probably the strongest for now. So last week still managed to form last week the middle of last week still managed to form a new high and then doing a bit of a pullback. Generally still very healthy. Nothing has changed, still trending in this generally an uptrend channel over here. So I think the key level to watch for Dow Jones will probably be this black color trendline support over here. So this has to hold for the price to continue its very steady uptrend. So I think the key support level to watch would be somewhere around 46.8K over here. Currently just trading in this uptrend channel. And I think for now we should be able to still find some support around 46.8 to 47K this area over here for now. Yeah, then for now, some resistance will be the recent highs around like 47.7K onwards to 48.4K, the recent highs. Then in terms of the weekly, they're still very good as well. Holding generally the 10 MA weekly as a very strong support level when there's dips along the way. So Dow Jones still looking very good in terms of the chart, and I think we should still expect the trend to actually continue since there's no breakdowns for now. Yeah. Then next one I'll talk about is Nasdaq. So this is the chart of the Nasdaq, a bit of a pullback recently. So actually it touched this blue key trendline resistance. So this line I drew from like October 2022 and marked some of the key resistance level where the index tend to do a bit of a pullback. So and then also there was this trend line resistance over here recently. So around close to 24K, it hit this resistance level, bit of a pullback taking place. Fill some of the gaps over here, 23K, did a bit of rebound, but a bit of a lower high, and then last Friday did another retest of the recent swing low at 22.5K over here. So I think this level will be quite important over here. So probably because I think there could be this upward trendline support over here, and then also this is a recent swing low level. So this for the general uptrend, the short term uptrend to actually continue, this 22.5K must hold as support for the price to actually continue to trend higher. If not, we might see a further pullback along the way. Yeah, so for now, I think the support around here is like 22.2 to 22.5K region over here. And then currently it's also around this green line 50 ME level as well. So and currently some resistance will probably be around some of the short-term moving averages, the 5, 10, 20 levels. So that's around like probably around 23.1K onwards to about 23.5K. Yeah, so for now, short-term wise, I think still okay despite a bit of weakness. If you look at the weekly, it's still holding this red line, the 10 MA on the weekly as well, which is I think is a very important level because since the recovery from April, weekly wise, it hasn't broke down this 10 MA level as well. So this is a key support level to hold for the price to actually continue to trend higher. If not, we might see a further pullback. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking for Nasdaq. Currently probably some sideways consolidation for now, I guess. Yeah, for now. Yeah. Provided that this 22.2 to 22.5K area holds. The next one I'll talk about is the S&P 500. So S&P, the chart is a bit similar to Nasdaq. So in an uptrend channel over here, but I think there could be some weakness if there's a breakdown below this channel again. So in terms of price action, it's generally trading in this uptrend channel, a bit of a pullback from the resistance start of November, then we tested this previous resistance around 6,730. Then there was a bounce last week by a bit of a lower high and then continue to retest this channel support over here again, which is around the 50 SME level over here as well. So I think for now, this areas needs to hold the Friday's levels for the uptrend to actually continue, because the 50 MA level is also a key level that hasn't been breached during some of the previous dips. For example, in the mid-October over here this year, and then uh, the 7th November dip over here. So I think this 50 MA level coupled with this uptrend channel support is quite important for price to actually hold to continue the uptrend over here. If not, we might see the further weakness to come. Yeah, so in terms of S&P, in this holds, we might see some short-term sideways consolidation over here as well. Then in terms of the next key support level, if there's a pullback, I think the next level to watch will be around close to 6,585. So this will be the horizontal support level over here. And then this is around this blue line 100 SMA level as well. Yeah, so that's in case of further weakness, that's next area to look out for. Then in terms of the weekly wise, yeah, still a bit similar to Nasdaq. It's maintaining this 10 MA red line on the weekly as support. So this is a very important support level to hold, coupled with on the daily, the uptrend channel support and the 50 SMA on the daily as well. So for the uptrend channel to continue. Yeah. So these are some levels that I'm watching out for these indices. Yeah. So in general, for the US indices, I think for the US indices generally, I think Dow Jones is definitely the strongest for now. Still a very steady uptrend, no signs of any weakness yet. Then for the S&P and Nasdaq, they look pretty similar. We've seen a bit of a pullback recently and a like double retest of the swing lows. So this must hold. This is a very important level currently must hold for the uptrend to actually continue. If not, we might see a further weakness expected in the market. Then also to look out for the weekly 10 MA level to see whether it continues to hold as support as well. So that's my take on the indices. Then next one, I'll move on to gold. So gold a bit of a rebound recently, but I think most probably still a bit of a sideways consolidation for now, I think. So a key level to watch for this currently is that so we retested some of the previous resistance zone. This around like 4,160 to 4,230 area over here. And then it's currently doing a bit of a pullback. We'll find some support currently around this 4,000 and 4,020, 4,030 level over here, which we broke out of on 10 November. So could move a bit sideways recently for now, I feel. In terms of the weekly wise, still okay. As long as it doesn't break down the 10 MA weekly, which is around 397 currently. Then I think for now it could continue to be of a sideways over here for now. So we might be seeing something similar to this part over here, where previously there's a pullback from the highs, and then then some rebound, and afterwards we see some sideways consolidation taking place. Yeah, provided that the 10 MA doesn't break down, similar to this part in May this year. Yeah, so that's for gold. Then for next one for oil, I think generally quite sideways for now still. Nothing much. Key resist is still in the downtrend, as the key level has not this key level $62 previous support breakdown level still holding as resistance. Then currently just moving quite sideways between like $58 to $62. So I think for now, just probably some sideways price action for now. In terms of the VIX, I think, yeah, just a bit more elevated recently, but I think no cause for danger yet unless we see price this VIX crossing above 22 again. So this 22 level, I think, is a key horizontal level based on like some of the levels tested this year. Recently, there's two retests of this during the Friday's sell downs, but VIX wise haven't closed above this level. So for now, this will be probably a level to watch. If it closes above 22, then we could possibly expect some further volatility ahead, with the next key levels at 25, around 25.60, and then 28.30, which was like some of the higher levels seen in October this year. But for now, probably just maybe some sideways again, 17 to 22 for now. So for VIX, watch out if there's a crossover above 22 about there. If then there could be more volatility. Okay, next one for copper, nothing much, just quite well defined sideways over here for now, with resistance like 5.2 and support around 5 over there. So nothing much to comment. Okay, so that's in terms of the indices and commodities. I'll move on to the different sectors. So first, I'll start with the tech sector, the Magnificent Seven. So to give an overview, this is what I'm looking at, which is the MAGS, which is the Brown Hill Magnificent Seven ETF. So I think it sort of captures in general how the MAX 7 stocks are actually trending right now. So yeah, you can see that so tech sector has been leading the market pullback recently, and then we can see some weakness currently as this 65.7 breakout level price is currently below that and actually tested the next support level downwards, like 63.5 recently over here. So I think this is a very important level to hold, 63.5, for the uptrend to actually continue. So this is because price has actually broken, has actually sort of not so good price action really, because previously we can see that when there's a breakout, the price actually continue to go higher, and then recently there's been like lower highs, a bit of a lower highs recently, and then the breakout of 65.7 hasn't held as support. So that's a sign of weakness already, and then it tested the next lowest support level. Another thing is that I think I'll be looking at this very important trendline support over here, which has been holding since start of July this year. So I think this coincides with there's a confluence of supports over here, right? 63.5. This important hold for the price to go high. If not, if there's a breakdown, then I would expect more weakness to come for the tech sector to possibly test close to 60, 61, this level over here. Yeah, so for now, I think just pretty much I would think quite sideways for now. Still expect some bounces to face resistance given the current lower highs, and price is trading below some of the short-term moving areas. So like 65.7 onwards to like 67 here should find some temporary resistance. So probably some sideways kind of price action for the big tech right now. Then also importantly on the weekly wise, similar to the Nasdaq this 10 MA or weekly must be able to hold as support, which it has done since the recovery from April. So this must hold. If not, we probably will see further pullback ahead. So these are some of the key levels. Then I'll move on to the individual counters. So first one is Meta, which has pulled back quite a bit recently as well. So for Meta, I think quite a bit, but I think it could be able to find some support recently. So I think because previously it was trading within, it was generally it was trading, okay, before the earnings gap down, it was like probably in this big range over here between like 690 to 790. So that's about $100 range. $100 range should project downwards 690, so 590. So 590 during this breakdown, 590 is the technical projection, which coincides with this level over here, which is start of April. There's a when the market started to rebound, there was a resistance level that afterwards held as support and price trended higher. So this is the next key support level that could hold the price for Meta, I think. So for now, generally still very weak. As you can see, price is holding resistance from the 5 MA, this blue line, on the daily time frame. Yeah, then recently we tested this swing low level at around 601. So we could see some bounce, but for now, I will still expect resistance from the 5 and 10 MAs on the daily, currently like 617 to 622 about there. Yeah, then maybe perhaps some sideways kind of price action. Then in terms of next support level, I'll be looking at this five close to 590 this level, 587, and then the next support level downwards will probably be close to this second gap over here. Yeah, so in terms of Meta, I feel the first gap over here recently, and then there's still possibly a second gap over here at somewhere close to 555 about it. So that's the next support level that to look at, 555 and 590. Yeah, so I saw there's a question by Sue. Is it a good time to buy Meta and Nvidia? So I would think in terms of investing, if from an investing point of view, I think it could be a good price to look at somewhere around this area, like 550s to 590s, when previously this was like the resistance in April this year. And then in terms of RSI, it's currently oversold as well. Currently it's at 26.9. So I think from the technicals wise, I think it looks quite cheap for now. Something last seen in like early this year, like March to April over here, when RSI was a bit oversold as well. Yeah. So I think for Meta, if the market rebounds, probably will find some support over here. So the next one, I'll move on to next one, Apple. So Apple has been quite resilient during this recent market pullback. So we're still very nice trend over here, higher highs, higher lows. Nothing has changed. Still very nice structure where price is holding some of the short-term moving averages as support. Yeah, then since the breakout of this 265 as well as support over here, just range bound now, 266 currently to 276. So nothing much for now, just keeping the range to see whether it can break out 276. Then probably we could see price continue higher, maybe to reach 286 lah. If we take the range of these $10 project onwards, upwards, yeah, definitely still one of the strongest one for now. On the weekly, also very strong lah. Just holding above the 5 MA on the weekly as well. So yeah, Apple still remains quite good in terms of the chart. Yeah, only caution if it breaks below 266, then we might see some weakness coming. The next one for Amazon. Amazon, for after the earnings, has been there since a bit of a weak price action recently. So pull back to the 10 MA lower high rebound coincides with around the previous resistance like 236 to 238 over here. And afterwards, a further rebound to retest this previous swing high level on like 232 over here on the 20 MA daily. Yeah, so in terms of Amazon, I think for now, there could be some support could come in at the region of 228 to 233 this area, which was previously it was in this range over here before the results. So this was the resistance. Previous resistance, I think, will hold as a bit of support over here currently, 228 to 232. Then on the weekly chart, like 227 over here, there's the 10 and 20 MA level as well. So 232 is the 5 MA and weekly. So in terms of the daily horizontal levels also confirming the weekly MAs over here. So I think if it touches this level, there could be some pretty slight rebound over here. But overall, still weak for now. With the recent lower highs, and then price is still trading below the 5 and 10 MAs. So in terms of resistance wise, I would expect 242 onwards over here, this region to hold as a bit of resistance with the recent breakdowns. Yeah, so that's for Amazon. Next one for Alphabet. Alphabet, I think still looking okay for now. Still quite resilient, like Apple, something like that. So price trending upwards, so but still okay, a bit of a weakness recently where after the double top over here at 291, then price did a bit of a pullback uh, where it broke below the 5 and 10 MA on the daily and to retest this horizontal swing low level, 275 around here, which is the daily 20 MA level as here as well. So for now, I think this level is an important support level to hold for the general short-term bullish momentum to continue. Currently, there's quite a bit of a gap up pre-market 288 for now. So I think overall, we might trade in this range over here for now. Then if it breaks above 291, we could expect some further upside ahead, possibly. If using this range at 275 to 291, that's about $16 range. Then going upwards could hit somewhere close to like 307 about there. Yeah, if there's a break. The weekly wise still remain very strong as well on the holding above the 5 MA weekly. Also one of the stronger stocks currently as well for now. And then Microsoft also a bit of weakness recently. So Microsoft after the earnings gap up over here, sort of hit a double top been close to the 554 level. Afterwards, we've seen weakness along the way where price actually broke below this 530 level, and then some of the short-term averages all the way down towards this close to 498 level. Then you see a bit of a rebound over here. So currently it's a bit of a range over here where there's a bit of a pullback on Thursday from this 10 MA retest over here at around 510, which is also a previous like horizontal support level over here. So currently it's a range like 498 to 510 about there. So I think if there's a breakout above 510, we could see some short-term rebounds up somewhere towards 520 for now. In terms of the weekly wise, also quite weak because currently it's below the 5, 10, 20 weekly moving averages like 511, 512 over here. It needs to hold above that. Then needs to hold above this 510 level. Afterwards, then we could see possibly some strength come back in the market in Microsoft. Yeah, but for now, most probably range bound for now, assuming that 498 holds for Microsoft. If 498 doesn't hold, then it could continue the weakness down towards 480, the next key level. Yes. So that's it for generally for the Max 7 counters. So a bit of weakness recently, except with the exception of a few like a bit stronger ones like Alphabet as well as Apple. Then I think for the index as well, index wise, I think the last Friday's lows must hold it's quite important for this general uptrend to actually continue because of the charts. Next one, I'll move on to the banking sector. So next one is XL. So I'll first go through the general ETF first, which is the XLF the SPDR Financial Fund. So for this, generally, it's still maintaining within this a bit of an uptrend channel over here in blue. So the key levels that to watch will be, I think we'll be watching this trendline support over here around 50, this like close to 52, which is also around this horizontal swing lows as well recently. So this must hold. If not, the price, I think we could see further weakness. Yeah, but for now, I think generally has been still quite sideways. Nothing much happening on like something similar to what it has been trading in the past. So generally just still quite sideways over here. With resistance close to 54 and support close to 52. Okay, I'll move on to the big four banks. So first up in terms of JP Morgan. So JP Morgan, I think, has been still quite strong, but I think the recent price action is not very good because looks like there's a potential bull trap over here. The price actually retested a double top over here, 316. Then it did try to break out of 316 over here, but this was reversed. the next day with a very strong bearish candle over here that broke below that broke below this short-term moving averages that it was holding over here, like the 5 and 10 ME levels. This was on higher volume as well. Yeah, so this I think is a bearish pattern at 316 breakdown over here. So it now is currently testing this first support level like 302. Then yeah, if it doesn't hold, I think perhaps you could see a further pullback towards like 294 over here, which there's a bit of lower wicks over here as well. You see, I think there could be a trend line. There could be like a bit of a trend line support over here as well. Yeah, so there could be this trend line support over here that it could retest as well for JP Morgan. Yeah, so I think we could possibly expect still a bit of weakness for now, given the recent bull trap. And resistance, I think for now would be like 310, as well as if it retests on the 5 and 10 day moving averages, then I think that will pose a bit of resistance for now. The next one, Bank of America. I think Bank of America is still okay for now. Just generally just trading sideways upon the breakout of these 5260 resistance levels. It's moving sideways. I think as long as it doesn't break below like Friday's lows, this 52 level, which has been tested also at the start of this month, then I think should be fine. Below 52, if there's a breakdown below 52, then the next key level downwards will be like 50 point, somewhere close to 50.6 out there. Yeah, so for now, I think still range, possibly a bit range bound for now in terms of the daily. On the weekly, still holding okay. The 5 and holding the 10 ME, 5 and 10 ME on the weekly as well. Okay, next one, Wells Fargo. Yeah, Wells Fargo still quite range bound as well. Key level to hold will be this 83.20 level, I feel, which was this previous resistance over here. Then price is currently just moving sideways between 83.20 to 87.30. Yeah. Then in terms of the weekly also is at the 5 and 10 MA levels. 5 and 10 MA still holding on the weekly as well. So that's I think still okay for now. Just range bound and see if there's a breakdown, then I think next level will be like close to 79.70. Yeah, then if there's a breakout, then we expect new highs ahead with about $4 range. So they could hit about 91 about it. Then last one I'll talk about is CD Group. Yeah, so for CD Group, I think currently still just okay, just a bit range bound for now, with support still at 96 about there, some resistance at 102. Yeah, above there, I think I will still expect resistance somewhere close to 105 about it, this swing high level. So generally, I think will be quite should be quite sideways as well for now. Yeah, similarly, we're still holding 5 and 10 MA in the weekly. So generally, I think for the financials, in terms of the big banks, I think generally quite range bound as with the coincides with the XLF index as well. So we can see whether there's a breakout or breakdown of the range to decide the next key directions. Then next one, okay, I see there's some question. Yeah, there's a question. Netflix is not Magnificent Seven. Yeah, so for Netflix, it's actually not part of the Magnificent Seven if based on like the definition. But in terms of the chart, I think there's I can go through as well. For Netflix, I think there's still a bit of weakness currently in terms of the chart. Since the breakdown of like 125, generally it has been trading in this range like 114 to 125. Yeah, also to note now it's like 10 times cheaper because there's been a split effective, 10-to-1 split effective today. So the prices divided by 10 is compared to the original $1,000+. So for now, we can still see some weakness as this support is still holding as resistance, 140, 115 over here recently. Then essentially recently just trading sideways with support holding at around holding around the like 110, 100. like $107 over the previous resistance. So for now, I think still generally overall trend is still be weak. Yeah, for this range, then I think if there's a breakdown below 107, then we might see the further weakness somewhere towards close to 100, about there, the next key horizontal level. Yeah. Then if there's a breakout of like 106, this 116 level, then we might see some slight recovery back towards like 120 about that. So generally still quite range bound for now for Netflix looking in terms of the charts. Okay, I'll go back to the sector. So next sector I'll talk about is the semicon space. So for semicon, I'll look at this. The index to look at will be the Philadelphia Semicon Index, SOX. So there's been some weakness for now. So previously, very nice trend, steady trend, and sideways consolidation, breakout, and move higher. So this one move sideways breakout. But recently, what changed was this part over here, lower highs being formed in terms of the index, and then multiple tests of these swing lows. So this resistance, previous resistance 6867, held as support, but afterwards, last week's price actually not very good over here, where it came back down and also currently below the moving averages, short-term moving averages. So I think in terms of the support level for now, the next key support level I think will be somewhere close to 6,400, which was like, I think this previous recent breakout over here, this swing low form over here. If there's some further weakness, yeah, for the index. So some weakness for the semiconductor index for now. Then also possibly if there's a break, if this week's follow through, if there's a breakdown below the 10 MA weekly, then I think we could expect some further weakness for the semicon space as well. So that's for the stocks to look at, because yeah, in general for the weekly wise, it has been holding the 10 MA weekly since the recovery from April this year. So this will be an important area to look at. Yeah, so for stocks to be a weakness for now, unless you can try to get back above this 6,900 level and also try to break out this short-term downwards resistance line, then it could resume some short-term strength. Okay, then I'll move on to the individual counters. Starting off with NVIDIA. Yeah, so for NVIDIA, I think something to take note would be that it will be reporting results middle of this week. So that will be very important for the markets in general. In terms of the charts, currently I think the key level to hold for now has been holding is 184. So in terms of, there's been a bit of weakness recently where this 195 level hasn't held as a support level. Over here, during the breakout, actually rebound and held a bit of resistance over here, which is also a 10 MA. Then recently, like one is holding, like it did two retests of 184 recently. So 184 was this previous range resistance, as well as this swing lows over here. So this is a very important area to follow for price. If this breaks down, then I think we can expect further weakness towards like 170, somewhere close to 170 for NVIDIA over here. The previous range support level. Yeah. In terms of the weekly wise, also currently still holding the 10 MA weekly. But if there's a break below, then I think we can expect some further weakness. Yeah. For now, probably I think range bound for now with some resistance, probably holding like 195, where the moving averages are as well. So probably we see how it goes after the results. And next one I'll talk about is AMD. So AMD for now, I think generally is a bit stronger than NVIDIA, but generally just moving in a bit of a range for now, where this is still holding like this like 240 previous recent breakout level. So this is an important support level to hold, which is like around Friday's opening level. Yeah, so this is important to hold for the price to actually just continue sideways between now 240 to 263, the recent resistance. Yeah, if it breaks below that, then we possibly could see a retest of 224 again over here. On the weekly is still okay. Currently hanging around the 5 MA weekly. So this 240 really needs to hold. If not, we possibly could see some further weakness downwards. Yeah, then on top of 263, if it managed to break above that, then the next key resistance could come from this trend line now, this blue trend line over here, which previously marked some of the significant peaks. So next resistance maybe at 275, there could be some resistance as well if it managed to break above 263. So for now, AMD looks pretty much a bit range bound for now. Yeah, then next one I'll talk about is TSM. So TSM, we can see some weakness from this. Previously, it was very was quite well defined range, like 286 support and 306 resistance. So for now, recently the like 7th November retested support bounce, but a bit of lower high, and then you can see resistance from the short-term moving averages for now, where previously it was holding as support. So now currently like the 10 and 20 MAs held as a bit of resistance, and probably did another retest over here of this support at 277. So I think this level is quite important. The Friday level, opening level is quite important to hold for the price to actually continue to maintain in the overall range. If not, we might see some further pullbacks to 266. Yeah, 266 will also be like the target level of this $20 range and minus 20 from 286. Yeah, so that's for TSM. Still a bit of range, but I think some weakness recently. Then it really needs to break back above this recent swing high like 295, as also some of the moving averages over here. Then we might for it to regain some strength. Yeah, if not, I think we could still see some weakness downwards. Then also quite important at the 10 MA weekly also for now. Yeah, this must hold for the strength to actually continue in general. The next one I'll talk about ASML. So ASML for now, I think some weakness, but I think recently also a bit of a false breakout perhaps. So over here, price was consolidating like resistance 1040. And the price broke out over here, but afterwards with the market weakness was unable to hold, and currently is back at this actually turned to a bit of resistance over here with possibly the 20 MA, the orange line over here, which is held as support, holding as a bit of resistance as well. So I think the important level for ASML currently would be like this 900, like close to 1000, this horizontal support level, which is tested a few times. Friday closed around 10. So this must hold for the price to actually continue a bit of range bound between like 1000 to 1040. If there's a breakdown below 1000, then I think possibly we could expect some further weakness downwards to test close to 937 this swing low again. Yeah, so for especially like with the recent 1040 level turn to resistance. So that's a bit of a cautious sign as well. So for ASML, yeah, if it breaks below the Friday's opening, then I think we could expect some further weakness. If not, probably range one for now until it tries to get above 1040 as well as these moving averages. And then next one, Micron. Yeah, Micron's still one of the strongest in terms of semicon names out there. I think possibly it's probably trading in this uptrend channel for now. So still very steady despite the market the tech names being weak recently. So I think still okay for now as long as it holds this uptrend channel coming at 233, then yeah, so I think still follow the trend for now, which is quite a good uptrend. Yeah, unless there's a breakdown of the channel as well as the 20 MA level. Yeah, so I think still one of the strongest out there. Then next one, Marvell. Marvell probably range bound for now. Still looks pretty range like some of the support level tested like 85 recently. If it fails the Friday opening, then we could go back down towards like $80, 80, 81 as next support level. For now, still looks quite range bound, 85 to like $95. Okay, I'll go through two more, which are Broadcom and Intel. Okay, next one, Broadcom, I think in terms of the chart, is turning a bit weak recently in terms of. So first up was that there was a false break over here, 373 uh over here where price attempted breakout but quickly reversed back downwards with strong bearish force. Then some of the other bearish signals is that uh price retested this previous resistance at 356, did a bit of sideways, but afterwards you can see that has been holding 10 MA as a resistance, then afterwards trending downwards. And also, I think this was a key trend line that I looked at. Over here, it has been testing it recently and fell below it in like Thursday and Friday last week. So in general, not very good. So I think back towards this lower support level, I think close to like 325 to 330 this area over here. So currently for now, I think probably possibly some further weakness. Yeah, in terms of the weekly, also closing slightly below the 10 MA weekly. So if that continues, I think we could expect some further weakness as well. Towards, I think it could possibly close out the gap. If it continues to trend downwards, it could possibly close out the gap at 306. Over here, these prior reasons, then it might do a bit of a bounce from there. Yeah, then next one, Intel, also some weakness recently where the breakout above 38 here failed to sustain. And then now it's holding as resistance. Yeah, so now Friday's level is quite important, which is this horizontal support level at 35, around 35.40. This must hold for the range more to actually continue. But I will expect generally still quite a lot of resistance. Still quite some resistance 38, around 38.50 for now, which is the recent horizontal resistance as well as the moving averages for now. So possibly some range bound, also currently retested the 10 MA weekly that must hold, if not further weakness. Yeah, so if there's a breakdown below Friday's opening, then I think we could expect some further weakness to retest on the lower levels at 32 to 33 over here. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. And for the semi-cons, then next one I'll talk about, try to go through the EVs before I try to take the questions that I have. So for the first one for Tesla, I think in terms of the chart not very good lah, because uh you can see that in terms of the chart, 420, this key support level has been testing a lot of times. Then with the recent price action was then around 440s over here when price actually broke above it to retest this 470. Then subsequently there's a breakdown, then retest held as resistance and subsequently trended along the 5 MA downwards and breakdown 480. So that's not good. So but currently the now the big picture wise, I think it hit the first support level on Friday, which is this blue trend line support last form, which I drew using since April this year, and it actually marked some of the swing lows along the way. So on Friday last week, we tested this swing low. So first support level hit, we might see some rebound over here, but generally I would expect resistance if we retest the 5 MA for now, as well as 420, like close to 420 over here will be the resistance, because support and resistance for now. Then generally could still see maybe a bit of a weakness or some sideways projection for now. Yeah, but this key trend line must be able to hold in terms of the medium term to try to, if it can try to rebound. If this blue trend line fails, then I think most likely we could see some further weakness to try to retest like this previous consolidation area, like 350s to 367 over here. So that will be the next key support level for Tesla. Yeah, then I'll move on to some of the Chinese names. Xpeng recently retested this 27 like swing high and then came back down. So currently over here, I would expect like somewhere around 23.60 over here should be able to hold as support for now. With the breakout this range previously, and then this is around the 20 MA level as well. So probably possibly some slight rebound could be over here. Afterwards, maybe some sideways. Afterwards, it could trade a bit sideways. Then for new, generally still some weakness, especially with the breakdown of this 670 level lah. So it was previously in this range 670 support level. There's been a bit of lower highs along the way, and around like last Tuesday break down this level and then went to next support region like around $6. So possibly some rebound, but I think some weakness. You will probably face some resistance from retest of the 5 and 10 min recently, like around 6.4 to 6.8 area. Yeah, below that, the next support level will be around like next key support level like 5.5, 5.6. Like if it continues to show weakness with a breakdown below 6. Then next one for Rivian also retested the resistance recently like 16.6, then then pulling back for now. So I will expect some support around like 14.5 about there for 20 MA level as well horizontal. So that's it for the EVs. Generally a bit weak price action for now. Okay, I'll go through some of the questions that you all have. Okay, first up, hi BY, your counters are Grab, Berkshire and T. So first one for Grab, let me take a look in terms of the chart. Okay, Grab, I think generally quite range bound, but I think the chart is showing some weakness for now. So I would look at the 550 as a key level over here. This was a very key resistance. November last year to September this year when the stock broke out. And then we look at this part over here. It did the thing I don't really like is that for now it did many retests of this 550 resistance turn support level, but price has been in terms of the bounces, right? We can see that it's been forming a bit of lower highs along the way recently. And then recently it's like 620, there's some resistance. And then Friday it actually retested over here again. So if price breaks down below like Friday lows, like then I would be more cautious for some further pullback along the way to possibly retest some of the lower levels like 520 as well as like 480s over here. So in terms of Grab, I think multiple to retest support and lower highs probably show some weakness for now. And in terms of the weekly, also is currently at the 20 MA weekly as well. So if this level breaks down, then probably some further weakness ahead for now. So I think the chart's showing some weakness. And next one for Berkshire. Yeah, for Berkshire, I think it looks quite good recently. So for Berkshire is that some of the recent good price action is that since the start of November when the market wasn't doing well, you can see that price managed to get back above this 487 breakdown level. After that, sustain, and then this 500 level also managed to break out towards the end of last week. So there's some bullish signs recently when previously the stock was actually just underperforming and just moving sideways. So for now, I would think probably 500s. This 500 level probably will be a short-term support if it does a retest. Currently, it's around the 5 MA level as well. So I think the stock probably could trade higher from here if you continue to move upwards. With the next key resistance probably around 520. Previously this level, and then higher will be close to 538. So I think for Berkshire, probably if it does retest 500, I think find some support and do a bit of a bounce from here to try to go higher highs. Yeah, given the recent some of the recent reversals price action. The next one, AT&T. Yeah, for AT&T, I think for now it's quite range. It looks quite range bound. Yeah. So previously the breakdown of this $26 support level still holding as resistance, but price is holding 24.40 this horizontal level as support. So just moving sideways for now. Yeah, and I think if price can try to break above 26, we might see some rebound. There's been looking a bit better recently, but because after this uh price has been trying to break above some of the short term has been above some of the short term moving averages recently. Previously it was holding as resistance this part. And so looking slightly better over here, you can continue from higher lows like if it holds like the 5 and 10, sorry, the 10 and 20 MA levels as a higher low support like 25, 20, and try to retest resistance again, then I think there could be a chance for price to try to break out this 26. Yeah, then that will be looking better. For now, it's still a range. But if that happens, break out 26, the next key level will be like 27 to 27.20 as the next key resistance. That's for AT&T. Okay, next question. Good evening. Your counters TLT, Adobe, CRM, and Duo. So I'll go through the first three lah. So first one on TLT. So TLT a bit of a pullback recently. Because bond use has gone up a bit recently. In terms of TLT, a bit of a bearish price action where these $90 resistance couldn't hold as support anymore. There was a retest and a bit of resistance and going downwards, and a bit of a bearish candle with a bit of an increase in volume recently. So I would expect possibly some further pullback to come for TLT in the short term to perhaps retest. I think this swing low area over here, like 80, this 88. So this is a support level, and then potentially this trend line support over here again as well, which has been, I think, a good place to good support level for TLT. So if it dips towards like somewhere close to 87, 88, I think over here price should be able to find some support. Yeah. So that's I think for TLT. In the short term wise, a bit weak. As if it continues to remain below this $90, like $90.20 level, then I think short term wise, we likely still be a bit weak. Yeah. Then if you look at the inverse, which is the bond yields, for now, a bit rising recently, but we'll expect the 20-year bond yield to face a bit of resistance. Like if it tests like 4.77, like this swing high previous support breakdown level, this trend line resistance, I think this could be a gauge. If it hits this level, I think it will be probably a good support to come for the TLT lah. That's my take. Okay, next question, Adobe. So for Adobe, I think generally still quite weak lah. Generally, it's still range bound, multiple tests of the support. Yeah, recently like a bit lower highs being formed with resistance around like 340, around the 20 MA. In terms of the weekly wise, still quite weak. Yeah, where it's still below the 5 and 10 moving averages. 20 is still coming down as well. So generally has been still quite weak. I think if we might see either still continue range bound or could form a bit of a lower low to test 320 lah, as the next support level. Yeah. So 320 previously over here was the next support. Then below that next support level could be a gap fill over here, like close to 303. Okay, next question is on Salesforce. Yeah, for Salesforce, I think recently the price action not very good again because over here it was looking better, but then over here it failed to hold this 250 breakout as a support with high volume sell down again, then back to retest this support 234. So for now, I think it looks back to the old range again, with resistance probably coming from like either 10 MA to 20 MA area, like 246 to 251 over here. Probably sideways, I think, for now here for Salesforce. Yeah, and then price is still below the 250. This is the 20 MA weekly as well. Price is currently below the moving averages again. So probably for short term is still weak for now lah. Okay, next question, UNH, LRCX, ACN, MVO. Go through the first three. So United Health recently, in terms of the price action, I think there's some weakness that's taken place since the earnings. So over here, after the earnings open around 375 resistance, then over here was the not so good part because this actually broke down the range. Previously, it was this range level, previous resistance like 354 holding as support. And then over here, we can see support being broken and then further weakness come in. Then test it went to this 320 level, then did a rebound, previous support now holding as a bit of resistance and continue to trend lower. So I think for now we might expect we probably would see some further weakness for now. Still quite weak. I think it could maybe test like 310 again. Like this previous consolidation resistance, they might do a bounce, then sideways afterwards. Yeah. In terms of the weekly, also some weakness for now as it break down below the previously was holding the 5 MA weekly, then now just break down all the way to the 20 MA weekly. So for now, I think possibly we could see some weakness again, back to retest this swing low 314 or this 310 around this previous range resistance level. Okay, next one, Lum Research. Okay, Lum Research I think is still in actually holding quite well in terms of the trend. It's still in an uptrend over here. Yeah, I think for now just some sideways consolidation. So I think this Friday level will be quite important over here. So there's been some weakness in terms of the very strong uptrend where these 20 MA levels held as support. There was a break of that on Friday, but in terms of horizontal level, this was a retest of 147, I'm sorry, $7.50 this previous range recent breakout. So as long as this hold as support is still okay but it must hold and rebound, try to get back over 157 over here, then it will look better. But for now, this Friday's level will be quite important to hold to maintain the overall trend. If this breaks down, then I think it will probably go towards like 136 or 133 to 136 over here. Yeah, so for now, Lum Research, Friday's level will be quite important to hold to maintain the overall structure, the bullish structure. Okay, next one is Essential. Essential, I think nothing much taking place for now. Yeah. It's still just generally quite range bound. Good thing is that a bit of higher lows being formed. So over here, a bit higher lows. Then in terms of the highs, still maintain at the range at 253. So I would still think nothing much, still quite pretty much range bound unless there's a breakout of 253. Yeah. Okay, hi SK, your counters, I think Google, Amazon, Tesla, I went through earlier, but if got time later on, I'll talk about it again. Yeah, thanks. Okay, hi Sharon, your questions are two support resistance for Dell, Tesla, and Palantir. Okay, so our first one I'll look at Dell first. Dell's first support level is like around 127 over here. Currently pre-market around 125. Next support level is around 120. This next horizontal level. Okay. In terms of resistance, I would think some resistance for now is around the 5 MA. So some resistance for now, I think probably it's around like 130. If it goes back, if there's a rebound, maybe 136 around here. Where there's previously this horizontal level, swing high level as well. Then if it somehow goes higher than that, 142, 144 around here. This breakdown level and this around here. Then next one, Tesla. Tesla one support level was like the Friday level. Friday lows around 380, about there. Below that, if there's a breakdown, the next support level I think will be around 367, this previous swing high. In terms of resistance, first one I think is around, if there's a retest of like close to 420, which was this multiple supports in the past. Then next one higher up, maybe around 434, I think 435, I guess. And for Palantir, Palantir currently one support level is which tested on Friday is at 170. Below that, 163 is another support, then followed by 149, 150 over here. So horizontal levels. Then for the resistance, I think for now, resistance probably around 182, I think. So probably be from this breakdown of these lows and then some of the short-term averages around here. Then above that, maybe 188, yeah, 182, then 188. Okay, next question on Circle, Coin, and eToro. So first one, Circle. Okay, so for Circle has been generally quite weak since the breakdown of this range consolidation 122 also broke down this 108 swing low level retest continue to hold as recent, still very uh yeah, and then we can see very bearish when price is trading below the 5 MA level, and recently came there's high volume coming out as well. So I think for now still bearish, probably still bearish in possibly could retest back the lows on the IPO over here, like 64 is the next key level. So I think if yeah, if the volume continues to come out and some in the if let's say large candle comes out and then afterwards there's a small candle coming out with lower volume, I think probably that could mean if it takes place somewhere close to this 64 level, that could mean some temporary bearish exhaustion where the sellers are probably quite done in the short term. Then there could be some rebound afterwards. Yeah, if it retest around here, I think there could be some support if we look at if the candlesticks and price in the volume actually shows that. Yeah, but for now still quite bearish for now. Then for Coinbase, I think short also recently there's a breakdown below this 303 horizontal support level. So after multiple retests, then also lower highs recently, the breakdown, then currently, yeah, close to this 265. 265 there's a previous resistance in the past. It might hold in the short term. So it might trade a bit of range bound 265 to 303 for now, with some resistance if it retest the short-term movie, just these 5 and 10 aiming levels. And below 265, the next support level down was like 240 if there's a breakdown. Yeah, so for now, some weakness. As long as price remain below this 303, there's still some weakness for Coinbase. And eToro is eToro Group. Yeah, for eToro Group, I think there could be a reversal for now in terms of the price action. So previously it was very bearish, right? Downwards trend. Then after that, volume started to come out, then after earnings as well. So this actually punched all the way up above the moving averages, and then the the good thing is that it's above this 3750 level. So this was the previous breakdown level. Price retested but break upwards. So then currently on the retest, this held as support. So this is good as is the 10 and 20 MA levels as well as these breakdown levels previously. So if this can maintain, if you can price can maintain over here, I think there could is probably quite bullish to actually try to reverse upwards. Yeah. So if you can take out this 42.60, then I think probably we could see higher highs to form like 46 to 47 again. Yeah, so I think for now, as long as this holds, I think this 37.50 holds, I think is looking better lah. With the recent high volume, price action going upwards, and then currently pulling back on low volume and maintaining the moving averages. Yeah. Then next one, okay, two support resistance for Meta, BYD as well as Chipotle. Yeah, so first one for Meta, I think first support level is probably like I think close to 587 around here, somewhere around here. The next support level I think is around 555. Yeah, around this gap, around this gap over here, there's also some previous horizontal level around here. In terms of resistance, first one, for now, some resistance I will expect close to 620 620s over here, like probably 620, 630, which is the recent horizontal level as well as the 10 MA level. Then above that, next horizontal resistance like around I think around close to 660 about there. And then next one is BYD. Yeah. Okay, so for BYD, currently the resistance is at 103, which is the recent breakdown level. And above that, I would think the next key resistance probably somewhere like 111, 112, around there. Yeah, then support is like 94, 94, 95, this recent swing low. And then next support level, if it breaks down, probably around 88, $89, yeah, for BYD. Then for Chipotle, I think next support levels probably around 29, around 29.50 and then 27.30. Yeah, based on the previous lows. Then for now, resistance, some resistance probably around the 30, 34, I think. Like 32.50 to 34, around there. Okay, I'll try to go through three more questions. Sorry about it's about close to 9:50. I'll try to go through. There's still quite a bit of questions, but unfortunately I can't go through all of them. I'll go through the last three questions. Yeah. So on Oracle, PayPal, and Block. So for Oracle, I think quite weak for now, where price is just coming down, feel the gap, but still trending downwards. Yeah, so far now we tested this level around 216. But I think for now still weakness, unless the price can try to get back, go above these 5 and 10 MAs on the daily. On the weekly is also very weak as well. But we tested this swing level 218 on the weekly. Yeah, so maybe could see some slight rebound, but could be resistance 233 to 240 for now. Yeah. And for PayPal, yeah, PayPal also looking weak for now with the breakdown recently of this horizontal support like 65.50 over here. So I think it could extend some weakness towards the next support level around close to $60 over here. Yeah. Then for block, yeah, block also after earnings, yeah, not good lah. After that, it broke down this range consolidation. Then also the other thing is that it tested this horizontal level like 66.50 has resistance. Then currently is trending the 5 MA as resistance. So probably come back to retest this. These are like around $60. Then next support level down was like 55 around there. So I think for now short term weakness to retest some of these support levels. Yeah. Unless price can try to get back over 5 MA again, then possibly some rebound. But for now still quite weak. Yeah. Also I see there's a question in the chat by Sharon. Yeah, why there's only 2 sessions of TA this month? Yeah, so the first half of this month I was away on reservist. So that's why the past 2 Mondays there were no webinars. But yeah, so there will be another webinar next Monday. Yeah, so I will stop sharing my screen over here. Yeah, and let me just drop some links in the chat lah, and also the survey form. Just give me a moment. Okay. Yeah, so I left the link to the survey form. So if you have any feedback about today's session on how you can improve your experience in the future, if there's anything you like about today's session, you can feel free to fill up the survey as well. So I can help to improve everyone's experience in the future. Also, feel free to, if you're new or existing user, also feel free to join our Poem 3 community on TA if you haven't, can download using this link. So there's community groups over there on TA. You can leave your questions over there, and then I'll answer over there if you have any questions. Also, feel free to join the Poems Telegram group as well is the Telegram handle at Poems TA. Yeah, so that's all for today's session. I understand there's still quite a bit of questions that I'm unable to answer due to the time constraints. So apologies about that, but I really appreciate all of you for attending today's session as well as leaving all these questions. Then we just go through the different counters that you all have lah. So yeah, thanks everyone. And I hope you all have a good trading way ahead. I think something to look out for will be the resumption of all the economic data after the government is reopened. Then another thing is that I think market is a bit quite choppy, volatile recently. It can be one day green, one day red. So I think key will be look at whether the indices can hold some of the supports and then also just manage your risk properly as well. Yeah, so that's it. I hope to see you all again in the next session and have a good trading way ahead. Bye bye. Good night, everyone.